And this auger turns and scrapes all the frozen product off.
Oh, okay.
That's how it develops the frozen nature of the product that you're serving, whether it's soft serve or yogurt or custard or anything.
Okay.
So what we'll do is internally there's an electronic board that we will adjust to give you the right viscosity of the product coming out.
Okay.
So obviously in this case application we're going to do soft serve, so we want firm enough to where it will stand up on a cone, but not too firm because then the ejection rates become very, very slow and awkward. So, so basically what we do is once a week, we want to break this down, clean all the parts, and reinstate some lubrication on the moving parts.
Okay.
For example, this is called a drive shaft, and it's obviously lubed because it's been cleaned at the shop, but we'll kind of go through that process real quick.
How do I get that lubrication?
It's available through some of the food service companies like Cisco and FSA.
Oh, okay, great.
Or you can order it directly from us.
Okay.
It's just a vegetable grade shortening.
Okay.
So what they are, they're called food grade shortenings. Here's our bucket. Oh. So what we're going to do is we're going to ensure that everything moves freely, and that's what the lubrications do.
Okay.
And all of these steps that we're going to go through are illustrated and described in the manual.
Okay.
And they show you where to lube and everything else, but I want to just show you
That would be good.
first. Yeah. Okay, so essentially, clean this thing once a week. We're going to drain off, we'll assume that we've had product in the machine.
So how long can you keep product in the machine?
We recommend you break it down once a week.
Once a week, so I don't have to take it out every day. Oh, okay.
Yeah. This machine's equipped with what's called a standby refrigeration mode.
Okay.
So rather than drain the product out of the machine, we're going to convert this machine to a refrigerator at night.
Oh, okay,
So
great.
just refrigerate. When you come back in the morning, switching back into auto. The auto is the position that the product freezes and is prepared to dispense. So, okay, so our assumptions right now is that we've had product in this machine all week long. We've drained it out, and we've drained it out in what's called the wash mode. And see these little symbols up here?
Okay.
These are 3-pole switches. In the center, it's off or 0.
Okay.
In the left-hand position,
Wash.
it's in wash. And in the right-hand position,
Okay.
it's in auto.
Okay.
So when we're draining the product out, to keep the machine from constantly freezing it, we want to drain it in the wash mode. Because once the frozen product is pushed out, the liquid product drains a lot faster than constantly freezing.
And this is once a week.
It's once a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're basically going to take a bucket, we're going to pull the product out. I highly recommend you just discard the product at the end of the week and start
fresh.
all fresh.
Okay.
Absolutely. So we're going to assume we drained it, rinsed it out with just tap water, not warm hot water, it's cold tap water, until it rinses relatively clean. It doesn't have to be perfectly clean, but close. So once we've drained it, we can disassemble it, and we'll take all these parts to the sink. And these are all of the components in the entire machine right here. So the machine's disassembled.
Okay.
Okay, so they're all clean, they're all ready to reassemble, so we'll start that process.
Okay.
And the first thing that we'll do is we'll lube what is called the auger and drive shaft.
Okay.
So we want to, and take a little bit more lube than that, but I have a lot of lube on it already.
Okay.
Because we just lubed it. So we want to pack the lubrication around that O-ring, which is a seal, and we want to draw some lubrication back on the shaft, but no lubrication on the nut end or the hex end of this drive shaft.
Okay.
So real simple, just kind of make sure your O-ring's in position and heavy film layers, a good description for
If
that.
the O-ring wears out, is it a standard O-ring you get from?
We have what's called a tune-up kit. In fact, I noticed it's not in our kit. We set it next to the machine this morning. I'll get one back over to you.
Okay.
I have a kit that comes with all the replacement O-rings, and
Okay.
I had it this morning, but
Sure.
when we loaded it, we
Yep.
took everything out of it, so I think I set it down and forgot to grab it. So
Okay.
I'll run that back over to you.
Okay.
But there's a kit that has all the replacement O-rings, such as the little draw valve O-rings.
Are they all the
and-
same O-ring?
No, they're not.
They're
They're
not.
all different. In fact, Taylor only designs O-rings just to fit in one position.
Okay.
Period. So
Okay.
you can't put the wrong O-ring on because it
Okay.
won't fit
It won't fit.
properly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, heavy lubrication. We slide our auger assembly in. Goes into position. We know it's in position when we can't turn it.
Yeah.
Okay? Great. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to assemble the door. And this is probably the trickiest thing on the whole door. This is called a guide bearing. And the guide bearing accepts all the wear characteristics from the machine running. It's just a cheap, inexpensive part that comes in your tune-up kit. And it keeps any of the permanent wear components from accepting, or any of the permanent components accepting wear. So it won't go on straight, but if you push it to the side, you'll slip over.
Okay.
Okay? The flanged edge goes against the back of the door,
Okay.
and then there's a small O-ring on the back of the door that we're just going to put a film layer of lube on. Remember, this lubrication is a vegetable shortening.
Okay.
It is edible. I don't recommend you
No.
consume it.
But if it gets into the product a little
Yeah,
bit, it should be
if a
okay.
glob of it came off
Yeah.
and was,
In the
in the
product.
product
Yeah.
and somebody consumed it, no
It's
problem.
okay. All right.
No contamination or anything. So we have a couple hand screws that hold the door on. Slide that in position. And we can just spin those on. Hold.
Hand tight?
Yep.
Okay.
No tools required in any of the process. So we just want to snug them up.
Okay.
Okay, so if we had the manual, all this is illustrated and we can just kind of follow the steps. But the next thing that we're going to put in is called a draw valve. And the draw valve actually works as a gate valve from the inside to the outside of the machine. So when you open this up, it's a gate valve, product comes out. When you release the handle, it closes and blocks the flow of mix.
Okay.
So the O-rings and the lubrication form the seal. So it's important that, one, the O-rings are in good shape, and two, that they're lubed properly. Because if you don't lube them properly, you'll have a drip.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So I'll show you the process in lube. So I want to fill those grooves with the O-ring all the way around. I just want to put a dab of lube in the center. And then I want to evenly distribute the lube above and below the O-rings. And again, good description, heavy film layer.
Okay.
So consistent, I'm going to put a little dab up the draw spout just so it doesn't strip all of it off. And then we'll push the draw valve into position and take all the excess off.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So obviously the handle is what opens and closes the draw valve. So we position that, and you can either set this machine up for a left hand or right hand operation.
Okay.
And we can flip that around if you're inclined, if you have a
So
different-
just to take it out is just
right.
like that.
And well, you'd have to flip this around.
flip
So
that as well.
It turns, and then we'll reposition that. And are you trying to tell me you're left-handed?
No, I'm not. I'm just,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were just going to get to the point here sooner or later.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking if I'm right-handed, it's easier to twirl with your right hand.
Yeah, but see, you don't need to twirl
No?
because the machines eject in a pattern.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah, so basically
So
with
then-
your left hand, you're going to catch, and typically, I'm right-handed.
Yeah,
I
I'm
usually,
right-handed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then putting it back.
and you typically want it up in position to
Oh,
where you.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And it's just a matter of rotating it to
Okay.
where it's in the right position for you.
Okay.
Okay, so the next component is called a float device. And there's a little post up here. You might need your stool. This post is what that goes over.
Okay.
That is a low voltage circuit that turns this light on and off.
Oh, okay.
So if the mix
low.
gets real
Yeah.
low, guess what? You're gonna
So
have a
it doesn't matter up, down,
Nope.
just on. Okay.
light's gonna blink
Okay.
if you allow that to get down to a certain point to where it makes a connection.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And the other thing that we have is called a feed tube assembly.
Okay.
And the feed tube assembly is in position up in your hopper in a hole, like right there.
Okay.
Okay? So I want to explain to what this does
So
is,
the hole on the bottom goes on the bottom.
well, yeah, the hole on the side
Oh, the
goes
hole
on the
goes
bottom.
Okay.
When you're drawing product. When you're not drawing product, you want it flipped over
Okay.
and go in, like in the standby mode.
Okay.
So this is how the mix gets in the machine,
Mm-hmm.
and this is how the air gets in the machine.
Okay.
And at night, when you go into standby,
Mm-hmm.
this machine allows the product in the barrel to go back to a liquid state.
Okay.
Now, if we left the flow of mix on
It would
and all
go in
that
there.
suspended air melted down to liquid, it'd flood the cylinder with mix.
Okay.
So at night, we want to flip the feed tube and go into our standby mode.
Okay. If for some reason an employee forgets to do that, what?
The only thing that would happen, you'd have to pull some product out of the barrel to reinstate the air
Oh,
content.
okay, okay.
So it's not major.
Oh, okay.
You just waste a little product.
Wait. Okay.
Okay, so at night, it's like this, you're in standby.
Okay.
First thing in the morning when you come in, you want to, first of all, before you pull any product off the machine, you want to switch into the auto mode.
Okay.
And when the machine cycles off, and you'll hear cycling, it'll go quiet when it's pulled the product down to the servable condition. When it cycles off, then you want to flip the feed tube
Okay.
over. And why you want to do it in that sequence is that product is resuspended and all the air is mixed in and it's frozen again, so that cylinder will not flood with liquid mix.
Okay.
Okay?
Great.
So real simple.
All right.
Yeah, so let's make some mix.
Okay.
Jason's gonna adjust the machine for us. We're gonna set the viscosity so the thickness is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to do it at every location because it's a voltage sensitive control.
Okay.
So the voltage at my office is gonna be different than the voltage
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So we'll get that set and
Okay.
then you'll be in business.
Okay. Great.
So any questions of what we went through?
I don't think so. So I brought a second product. So I'd like you to show me how to sanitize
Drain it?
it,
Oh,
how to
sure.
drain it, and then
Yeah.
we can try the second product.
Sure, yeah, no problem.
So
What is the second product?
it's just the Dairy Gold one.
Oh,
So-
okay, it's like the standard mix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
just brought it extra. That's all. Okay. Great.
So
Great.
again, the reference of all this information that we went through is in the book.
Okay.
So never panic.
Okay.
You also will have a 1-800 number, which is over here on the side,
Okay. Great.
and there's always assistance for you. So if you're running it, and something's not, it just doesn't seem right,
Okay.
call us up and talk to you. My guys are all trained to try to troubleshoot over the phone.
Okay.
And if they can't get to work properly over the phone, they dispatch service. But we do a lot of service work over the phone for one reason. We want you back in business
Yeah.
in short order.
Yeah.
And that's typically easier if we can get it to work through the phone system versus dispatching someone to
If
come
for
over.
some reason there is something that needs to be taken care of with a service order, how much is that for a service
Well,
order?
yeah, any piece of equipment we put out has a 90-day parts and labor warranty.
Oh, okay.
So first 90 days,
Okay.
if anything goes wrong, pick up the phone. If it's a mechanical problem, now if it's a mistake you made,
Yeah.
it's a billable
Okay.
call. And what's a service call in Portland Metro?
115.
Yeah, I think 19 or 109 or 115.
Something like that.
And that gets them to here and gives you, the first 15 minutes on the job or something
Oh,
like
okay.
that. So.
Okay.
And most of the time, it's something really minor.
Okay.
And don't feel bad,
Yeah.
you probably will make some mistakes.
Yeah.
Everyone does. This is not a common knowledge thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if we got called up 10 of your friends and got them in here and asked them everything they knew about a soft serve machine, it'd be a very, very short conversation.
Okay.
So this stuff,
Hi.
Hello.